Hi, my dear students, and we are going to continue our lesson today. Chapter 2 Human Reproduction. Previous class, we were discussing about gametogenesis and all the phases of menstrual cycle and hormonal regulation of menstrual cycle we saw. Hope it is clear for you. And today we are going to continue with these two topics today. I'm going to cover menstrual disorder and menstrual hygiene. First topic, maybe first part, and second part, fertilization and implantation. I have beautiful videos to watch and then explore how the fertilization and implantation takes place in human. I'm really excited. I hope that after seeing this, after watching this, you will also explore that. Okay, so let us start with menstrual disorder. It is different from disease. Disease is different and disorder is different. Absence of menstruation is called amenorrhea. We were talking about menstruation only. If menstruation is not taking place or it is prolonged, it is not proper, then the situation is called amenorrhea. If menarche, and sorry to pronounce it as menarche in the last video, it is not menarche, it is menarche. Okay, I repeat, it is menarche. Does not appear till the age of 18. So first of you know that the first menstrual flow is called as a menarche, isn't it? During the puberty, when it is not occurring and it is still not occurring at the age of 18, then it is called as a primary amenorrhea. If the menstruation is absent for 3 consecutive months, absence of menstruation for over 3 consecutive months is called as a secondary amenorrhea. So it is very clear difference between primary amenorrhea and secondary amenorrhea. Once again I repeat, primary amenorrhea is a menarche, does not appear till the age of 18. And what is secondary amenorrhea? It is the absence of menstruation for the 3 consecutive months, then it is called as a secondary amenorrhea. So absence nale adu amenorrhea. Firstly வரல அப்படினா அது primary, அதுக்கு அப்புறமா இந்த மாதிரி problem வருதுனா அதுவே secondary. Is it clear for you? Okay, now we will move on to the next term, polymenorrhea. Menorrhea na, it refers to menstruation, we know that. Okay, what is polymenorrhea அப்படினா, it is a term used to describe a menstrual cycle that is shorter than 21 days. So you know that 28 days is a cycle for menstruation. If a menstrual flow is taking place before 21 days, then that situation, that condition is called as a polymenorrhea. Is it clear for you? Once again, it is a menstrual cycle that is shorter than 21 days. It may be, idukana karanam enna? It may be due to hyperactivity of anterior pituitary gland causing frequent ovulation, psychological disturbance and malnutrition. இதனால என்ன ரீசன், எதனால ரீசன்னா அதிகமா வேகமா செயல்படுற anterior pituitary gland, ஓகே, ovulation, சீக்கிரமா நடக்கக்கூடிய ovulation, physiological disturbance, ஏதோ அவங்களுக்குள்ள ஒரு பிரச்சனை, ஒரு பயம், ஒரு ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் இருந்தாலும் இந்த மாதிரி menstrual flow 21 daysக்கு முன்னாடி வந்துரும். Is it clear for you? And malnutrition, I would like to highlight this. Most of you girls especially are having malnutrition. Malnutrition சத்தான உணவை சாப்பிடாத விஷயத்தினால இந்த மாதிரி சிச்சுவேஷன் அக்கர் ஆகும். ஸோ இதுக்கான விஷயங்கள் உங்க கையில தான் இருக்கு. ஸோ I want everybody to have a proper balanced nutrition diet in order to avoid all these problems. Okay, chronic pelvic inflammation by certain sexually transmitted disease. So sometimes this disease, STD என்றது sexually transmitted disease, இது ஒரு inflammationனால வருது. Okay, such as, and this disease is called as a bacterial or viral disease. Okay, chlamydiasis or gonorrhea can cause inflammation in the uterus causing polymenorrhea. So இந்த disease causing agent இருந்ததுன்னா, இந்த sexually transmitted disease அதாவது இந்த gonorrhea அப்படின்ற டிசீஸ் இருந்தாலும் இது என்ன பண்ணும்னா it will trigger the uterus and it will cause an inflammation in the uterus and causing polymenorrhea. Okay, before 21 days again the menstrual flow will start. So what are the possibilities? The polymenorrhea ஓட possibilities என்ன, எப்ப இருந்ததுனா இந்த polymenorrhea வரும்? So what are the causes for polymenorrhea? Means you will write all this. What are they? One is hyperactivity of anterior pituitary gland. Second is ovulation, physiological disturbance, malnutrition. Sometimes STD disease like gonorrhea also causes polymenorrhea. You will write like this. Is it clear? Now we will go to the another disorder. It is a pain associated with menstruation is called dysmenorrhea. Pain, vali. Menstruation time la vali irukum. Idu vandu normal da. We will see that. Okay. When it is normal, when it is abnormal, we will see. If it is commonly reported menstrual disorder. கண்டிப்பா எல்லாருக்கும் இருக்கும் இது. There are two types of dysmenorrhea via primary and secondary dysmenorrhea. Dys அப்படினாலே pain ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க. Menorrhea னா menstruation, during menstruation இல்லைன்னா menstrual disorder. Primary dysmenorrhea is a pain or a cramp during menstrual period and is caused by the secretion of prostaglandin in the uterus. இது நார்மலா எல்லாருக்கும் வரக்கூடியது. அந்த பெயினும் அந்த கிராம்ப் எதனால யூட்ரஸ்ல இந்த செக்ரீஷன். எந்த செக்ரீஷன்? I would like to highlight secretion of prostaglandin in the uterus. This is normal to everybody. But secondary dysmenorrhea is caused by a disorder in the reproductive system like endometriosis or uterine fibroid. Okay, and this is the severe one. We should take a medical examination and medical guidance for treating this secondary dysmenorrhea. This is a severe one. We need to pay attention for this such type of disorders. Okay, secondary dysmenorrhea is caused by a disorder in the reproductive system like endometriosis or uterine fibroid. So in this paragraph we saw about two types of dysmenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea means pain, and two types, heavy and prolonged menstrual period that disrupts a woman's normal activity is refers to a menorrhagia. This is menorrhagia for some of the female will experience this menorrhagia. They will feel a very very heavy flow of menstrual bleeding, and they will have a very painful events. Okay, and it is a prolonged period. It runs for more than 10 or more days. Such disorder is referred as a menorrhagia. Menorrhagia may be due to hormonal imbalance, ovarian dysfunctions, uterine fibroids, and may also be due to the cancer of ovary, uterus or cervix. So இந்த மாதிரி disturbance ரொம்ப மோசமா இருந்தாலே நமக்கு இந்த மாதிரி problems இருக்குன்னு அர்த்தம். அதனால கண்டிப்பா எக்ஸாமின் பண்ணணும். So when we have such this kind of problem, menstrual problem, is to whom we should approach? We need to approach not a general physician. We need to approach a gynecologist, a doctor who is specialized in gynecology. Will be handling such type of disorders. Okay, so if one person is not having a proper menstrual flow or menstrual disorder is having, then we are supposed to take that person to a gynecologist. So I repeat, gynecologist. You keep in your mind this entire uterus, menstrual flow, fertilization, even pregnancy, delivery, all the department will come under gynecology. So doctors who are specialized in gynecology, they will be treating such disorders. You keep that in your mind. Next we will go to oligomenorrhea. Oligo is a condition with infrequent menstrual periods. It occurs in a woman of childbearing age. Some variation in menstruation is normal, but a woman who regularly goes more than 35 days without menstruating may be diagnosed with oligomenorrhea. Okay, oligomenorrhea is a condition with infrequent menstrual periods. So there is no menstrual flow and it should be, the cycle is normally, it is normally 28 days. 5 plus and 5, this side 5 minus and 5 plus can be normal, but more than 35 days if the menstrual flow is not regular, then the condition is called as a oligomenorrhea. All the disorders of menstruation. Okay, and now we will see menstrual hygiene. Hygiene, what is hygiene? Hygiene na என்னது? Hygiene na சுத்தமும் சுகாதாரமும். அந்த டைம்ல what menstrual hygiene is a vital. Menstrual hygiene is vital for good health, well-being, dignity and empowerment and productivity of women. The impact of poor menstrual hygiene on girls is increased stress level, fear, embarrassment during menstruation. This can keep girl inactive during such periods, leading to absenteeism from school. So I think those who are listening and my students in our school, we all, you girls are keeping your menstrual hygiene in a proper way, and there is no disturbance for it. But think about the poor girls who cannot afford proper sanitary materials. So they will face such a severe problem, and it will lead to the embarrassment during such time, and they may be absent for the school. Okay, so now we will see what are the sanitary materials that we use for menstruation. Clean and safe absorbable clothing material, sanitary napkins, pads, tampons and menstrual cap. So these the highlighted, already it is highlighted, and these are the sanitary materials which is used to manage menstruation. So maybe it may be asked in 2 mark, what are the materials that may be used to manage menstruation? You can write, these are the objects, these are the materials that we use normally. Changing sanitary material 4 to 5 hours per the requirement provides comfort, cleanliness and protection from infection. So I would like to highlight this, very, very important. Many of the girls will not follow this. It is very, very important to change, whether there is a heavy flow or less flow, it should be changed. The sanitary materials that used for the menstrual flow should be changed, replaced by the new one. Okay, every 4 to 5 hours. So it should be clean hygiene. அதுதான் hygiene பத்தி படிக்கிறதுனால எவ்வளவுக்கு எவ்வளவு clean-ஆ இருக்க முடியுமோ அவ்வளவுக்கு எவ்வளவு clean-ஆ இருந்ததுன்னா this will avoid the infection. So prolonged used, some people know they will use for prolonged for the entire day, thinking that they should not waste the sanitary material. நமக்கு வந்து காசு இந்த நேரத்துக்கு அதுனா ஒரு 10 ரூபாய் 5 ரூபாய் இருக்கும் இல்லையா, ஒண்ணு அது முக்கியமா, இல்லைன்னா நமக்கு இன்ஃபெக்ஷன் வந்து யூட்ரஸ்லாம் இன்ஃபெக்ஷன் ஆகி அதுக்கப்புறம் அவதிப்படுறது முக்கியமா, இது ரெண்டுத்தையும் நீங்க யோசிச்சுக்கணும். அதனால அதை தூர போடுறது நல்லது. Is it clear? It also helps in enhancing the quality of life of women during this period. Used sanitary napkins should be wrapped in a paper and disposed. So these are the things that should be done. You know that most of the municipality scavengers will come and pick up the garbages that we put. So whenever you are disposing, kindly ensure everybody, not only the females, I'm telling, whoever it may be, kindly wrap the material in a paper, okay, and then put it togetherly in a paper bag and put it a rubber band and then dispose it. It should not be thrown in an open area or drain pipes or toilet. This is the very important. Situation is bad. Some people will throw the used sanitary pads in the toilet and flushing the sanitary napkins in the drain pipe. That causes choking of drainage line, leading to water pollution. This should be avoided. This is not the proper way to manage the used sanitary napkins. Okay, next, disposal of napkin. The best way is to eco-friendly way to dispose menstrual waste scientifically and hygienically is to destroy the sanitary napkin using incinerator. Incinerator now we have it in our school itself. Incinerator is a device. Okay, it's a device. It will burn the materials which is put inside. Okay, அது என்ன பண்ணும் எரிச்சிரும். அதான் incinerator. Measures are being taken to install incinerator and napkin vending machine in washrooms of schools and college and public facilities. So this is the most most eco-friendly way of disposal of napkins. அப்படி நீங்க கேட்டாங்கன்னா question கேட்டாங்கன்னா incinerators. இப்படிதான் question கேட்பாங்க. Okay? Yes. Now we will come to menopause. Menopause, pause na stop ஆகிறது. Okay? Menopause. Menona menstrual flow is no more taking place. Menopause is a phase in a woman's life when ovulation and menstruation stops. The average age of menopause is 40 to 50 years. It indicates the permanent cessation of the primary functions of the ovary. So final cessation means stopping. Okay, what is the primary function of ovary? Is ovulation, isn't it? Ovulation, after the ova eject is coming out from the Graafian follicle, it travels into the uterus, fallopian tube, and finally uterus. If fertilization is not taking place, it comes as a menstrual flow. We know that. Okay, so if that function is not stopped, then the situation is called as a menopause. Okay, so what is menopause? This can be asked in 2-mark question. And now we are going to see the next topic, very interesting topic, fertilization and implantation. So I would like to show a beautiful video for you and I would like to explain with the video, and later we will come to the content of the textbook. We will see now the important pictorial representation which is given in your textbook. We will see first and then I will go to the video. This is the event of fertilization. Fertilization, you know, fusion of male and female gamete is called as a fertilization. Everybody, this is very important. Already everybody will know. Events of fertilization, you can see number wise it is given here. So first one, this is the first one, and you can see that you already studied the structure of the sperm. This is the head part and middle part and the tail part. So this is the only luckiest sperm which is going to fertilize now, and we are going to see about the journey of this sperm only. So what happens, you know that acrosome you see here, and you know the enzymatic action of the acrosome, which will break the wall of zona pellucida. Alright, yes. The sperm migrates through the coat of the follicle cells and bind to the receptor molecules in the zona pellucida of egg. And what is the second stage? You know that. So it will give that enzymes, it will liberate the enzymes such that the zona pellucida membrane is broken. Okay. This binding induces the acrosome reaction in which the sperm releases hyaluronidase into the zona pellucida. This is the enzyme. And you can see this after rupturing into the membrane, what happens? The sperm nucleus is released inside. You can see that is the third one. Breakdown of zona pellucida by these enzymes allow the sperm to reach the plasma membrane of the egg cell. Now this is the plasma membrane, and you can see this membrane, and this one blue colored zona pellucida, and here you have a plasma membrane. Even the plasma membrane is also ruptured. Okay, and fourth one, you can see that nucleus and other components of the sperms enter the egg. So after rupturing, what will happen? Only the nucleus will enter into the inside the cytoplasm, and rest of the things will not enter. Only the nucleus is entered. And fifth one, you can see cortical granules form a barrier called fertilization membrane, which now functions as a block to polyspermy. And you know that here cortical granules are there. So once one gamete, the nucleus of the sperm enters, the cortical granules will block completely the entire inside layer of the egg so that another sperm will not enter. Is it clear for you? So this is so amazing, which now function as a block to polyspermy. Polyspermy means many sperm enters into the ova is called polyspermy. That is avoided by the cortical granules. So it acts as a barrier. So maybe the questions may be asked from this also. Cortical granules act as a barrier called fertilization membrane, which now functions as a block to polyspermy. So this is the event that is given in your textbook. Okay, and now you can see this one. I will show the pictures and later I will show you the videos. Now you can see that this one, you know that ovulation, we know last class till this last class we have studied ovulation, and here only ampulla is there. You know that this is a fallopian tube and it consists of the three parts. One is one you call it as a, what is that, infundibulum, an ampulla and fallopian tube. இதுதான் உங்களுக்கு தெரியும், ஏற்கனவே இந்த fallopian tube தெரியும். எங்க fertilization exact நடக்குது அப்படின்னா ampulla, already I would have said in the video last class, isn't it? Ampulla, here only I'm showing the cursor, here only fertilization takes place, and here only the two gametes meet and they undergo fertilization, and it is called as, then the zygote is. Now the zygote, two condition, you can see that two cells fuse to form a single cell, and that cell is called as a zygote. This zygote undergo many divisions. Okay, so first it will undergo a division and 4 cell stage is formed, and later it will go, this 4 cell will undergo further 8, and that stage is called as a morula, you can see. And when morula stage, it will travel. Now the zygote will travel from the ampulla to the uterus, and during this stage early blastocyst, இப்போ இந்த 8 cell stageல என்ன ஆயிடும்னா அதுல ஒரு cyst form ஆகும். cyst அப்படின்னா என்னது, சென்டர்ல ஒரு cavity. Okay, சென்டர்ல ஒரு cavity இருக்கு. So at this 8 cell stage what will happen, blastula, it is called as a blastula, a cyst is formed, a cavity is formed, and all the other cells are pushed to one corner. At this particular stage, the blastocyst, it gets implanted na embedded, இதுதா uterus ஓட wall, in the uterus wall la embed ஆகும். I will show the video and I will tell you. Is it clear for you? We will watch the video and we will come back to see what is given in our textbook. The joy of holding a new baby, now no bounds. No bounds, so happy. The birth of a baby is an intricate and complex process that begins when the zygote undergoes a cleavage and develops into a blastocyst. A ball consisting of trophoblast in an inner cell mass and a cavity is called as a blastocele, grows outwards and penetrates the endometrial lining of the uterus. The blastocyst with a developing embryo get implanted in the uterus and pregnancy is initiated. After implantation, the trophoblast grows further, which cause the blastocyst to sink in and get covered by the cells of the uterus. As the blastocyst sink further into the uterus, a finger-like projection called chorionic villi starts appearing on the trophoblast. As the chorionic villi grow further with the uterine tissues, we will see a placenta, a structural and functional unit between the developing embryo and the maternal body. Interestingly, when the placenta begins to form, as moves down and differentiates to form an embryonic disc consisting of 3 germ layers. Layers of embryonic disc to the ectoderm, middle, mesoderm and endoderm. The term derm layer indicates that each of the layer gives rise to tissues. All the layers give rise to tissues to term, for instance, other systems and the skin. The mesoderm develops into muscles and organs such as heart and kidneys, while the endoderm gives rise to the entire digestive system. Did you know that from the 3 germ layers, the embryonic disc also contains certain cells called stem cells? which have the ability to give rise to all the tissues and organ present in the human body. As the embryonic disc grows, the cells of one side of the disc grows faster than those of the other side. The disc to roll and form a cylindrical embryo. Initially, embryo is attached to the placenta, but develop, it moves away from the placenta and remains connected to it by an umbilical cord. The placenta is an important structure that supplies the embryo with oxygen and nutrients and hormones, well as carries waste products from the embryo back to the mother. The embryo stays inside the uterus for 9 months. The gestation period. During this period, under those several developments, by the end of the first month, and of the heart is formed. By the end of the second month marks the transition of an embryo to a fetus with developing fetal limbs and digits. And by the end of the third month, most of the organs are already formed. And another 4 months and the fetus is rapidly gaining weight and its bones get stronger. 9 months, the fetus is fully developed. 9 months, the fetus is fully developed and assumes the position it will take during delivery. The fetus is undergoing several developmental stages. The mother's body too undergoing several hormonal changes. For example, starts secreting a hormone called relaxin. Likewise, the placenta also secretes a hormone such as human chorionic gonadotropin or HCG and human placental lactation or HPL. HCG and HPL and relaxins are secreted only when a woman is pregnant. Apart from the secretion of these hormones, other hormones such as estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, and prolactin, thyroxine are rapidly in a pregnant woman body. They are all secreted. These hormones help the fetus as well as maintain the pregnancy. The increased level of progesterone and estrogen, for instance, hormonal changes also causes the cells of the mother's mammary gland to differentiate, resulting in the glands producing milk by a process called lactation. The end of the pregnancy. Did you know that at the end of the gestation period, the fetus as well as the placenta start secreting hormone that set in motion mild uterine contraction called the fetal ejection reflex. These contraction in turn stimulates pituitary glands that now start secreting oxytocin that causes stronger uterine contractions. Simultaneously, uterine contractions and oxytocin releases makes the contractions stronger, which every passing the minutes and ultimately result in the expansion of the baby from the mother's uterus. And this process of delivery of fetus is called parturition. Immediately after the birth of the baby, the placenta is expelled from the uterus. Soon after birth, the baby needs to be breastfed by the mothers as early as possible. Immediately after the parturition, the mammary gland starts secreting colostrum, that is the milk which is very rich in antibodies and improves the immune system of the baby. Every baby thus begins its journey as a zygote. So with this video presentation, I'm going to complete this part. Okay, you take a break, 20 minutes break you can take, and we will come back to the next part. Thank you.